has an idea about their scene with Emmy, and I didn't understand exactly what he was saying. Shameless was once one of the most talked about shows on television, raw, bold, and wildly addictive. But as the seasons rolled on, something strange started happening. Cast members began dropping like flies. It's really complicated. I wish her well. I understand why she's moving on. She's got a very hot career she had about. Beloved stars suddenly exited the series, leaving fans shocked and confused. Was it burnout, behind-the-scenes drama, or something far deeper than anyone imagined? Whispers of tension, creative clashes, and personal struggles began to surface, painting a very different picture of life on set. In this video, we're diving into why so many stars chose to walk away from Shameless for good. The rise and fall of Shameless. Shameless is a bold and gritty American comedy drama series that made its mark on television with a unique blend of humor, chaos, and emotional depth. Created by John Wells, the show aired on Showtime from January 9, 2011, until its grand finale on April 11, 2021. It is based on a British show of the same name, originally created by Paul Abbott. The American version took root in the South Side of Chicago, painting a raw and sometimes heartbreaking picture of poverty, dysfunction, resilience, and unconditional love. At the heart of Shameless is the Gallagher family, a group of siblings practically raising themselves while their alcoholic father, Frank, played by William H. Macy, stumbles through life. Fiona Gallagher, played by Emmy Rossum, steps into the role of parent, sacrificing her youth to keep the family afloat. Their story unfolds in a whirlwind of misadventures, deep emotional struggles, and hard-earned victories. As the series grew in popularity, it reached a major milestone. When Season 9 premiered on September 9, 2018, Shameless became the longest-running original scripted show in Showtime's history, a huge achievement for a series that never shied away from uncomfortable truths. The show was officially renewed for its 11th and final season in January 2020. However, due to the global COVID-19 pandemic, production was delayed. Instead of premiering mid-year, the final season debuted on December 6, 2020. Alongside Season 11, Showtime introduced Shameless, Hall of Shame, a companion clip show miniseries. It featured fresh scenes mixed with classic moments from previous seasons, giving fans a nostalgic look back at each character's growth and journey. After a decade of drama, laughter, heartbreak, and unforgettable characters, Shameless wrapped up with its last episode on April 11, 2021. It left behind a legacy of fearless storytelling and a cast of characters that viewers loved, even at their worst. While the series was still being aired, a number of the cast quit, with each having a unique reason. Let's delve into the details of the ever-changing cast of Shameless. In the ever-changing world of television, especially with shows that run for many seasons like Shameless, change is not just expected. It's part of the journey. Characters appear, win our hearts, or make us hate them. And then, sometimes without warning, they leave. It's part of what keeps a show like Shameless alive and unpredictable. Whether it's because an actor wants to try something new, behind-the-scenes deals shift, or a storyline has run its course, saying goodbye to familiar faces has become a recurring theme on the South Side of Chicago. For fans who have followed the Gallagher family's wild ride from the very beginning, each goodbye comes with mixed emotions. Some exits felt like the natural next step in a character's journey, while others left fans shocked and full of questions. But even those sudden farewells often led to some of the most powerful and emotional moments in the series. And every now and then, a familiar face would pop back in unexpectedly, like a surprise visit from an old friend, stirring up memories, drama, and often more trouble. Every departure meant something. It wasn't just about a character leaving. It was about the ripple effect they left behind. Sometimes, a character's exit gave room for another to grow. Other times it changed the course of the entire show. For example, losing a central figure like Fiona reshaped the dynamics of the Gallagher household. And when Ian left, came back and left again. It not only reflected the inner turmoil of his character, but also mirrored the show's chaotic rhythm. What makes Shameless special isn't just the madness and mayhem, but how real it all feels. Life is messy, unpredictable, and full of change, just like this show. And so, as the cast shifted and the stories twisted, fans were taken along for a ride that was never meant to be neat or perfect. It was raw, it was real, and above all, it was shameless. With a handful of quits recorded, let's pull back the curtain and dive into some of the most unforgettable exits and surprising comebacks that helped shape the heart and soul of Shameless. Cameron Monaghan's comeback after his farewell. From the very beginning of Shameless, Cameron Monaghan's portrayal of Ian Gallagher stood out as one of the show's most compelling elements. As one of Frank Gallagher's many children, Ian was more than just another troubled teen. He was a deeply layered and emotional character, trying to make sense of life in a world that rarely showed him any kindness. Growing up in the rough neighborhoods of Chicago's South Side, Ian boldly embraced his identity as a gay young man. Despite the social stigma and danger that came with it, his intense, complicated relationship with Mickey Milkovich became a fan favorite, filled with moments of pain, passion, and resilience. On top of that, Ian wrestled with the challenges of living with bipolar disorder, a struggle that was portrayed with striking honesty and vulnerability. So when Ian was sent to prison in Season 9, many fans feared that the end had come for one of the show's most beloved characters. Monaghan fueled those fears when he posted a heartfelt message on Instagram, bidding farewell to the role that had defined much of his career. "This role has been a joy to inhabit," he wrote, "a wild and special ride." He closed with a hopeful yet uncertain line. "Goodbye, Ian Clayton Gallagher. We'll meet again?" To the delight of viewers, that goodbye wasn't permanent. Not long after, Monaghan made a surprise return in Season 10. According to The Hollywood Reporter, the actor had stepped away from the show in part to explore new creative opportunities and to renegotiate his contract. Monaghan later confirmed that he and showrunner John Wells had meaningful discussions about where Ian's story could go next. And once the creative and financial details felt right, he decided to come back. His return was more than just good news for fans. It was a reminder that in the world of Shameless, no story is ever really over. Sometimes characters just need time to grow, off-screen and on. And sometimes saying goodbye isn't the end. It's just the beginning of a new chapter. Monaghan wasn't the only one who took a bow. Let's take a look at another star who left, the vanishing lover. Justin Chatwin. Steve. Or was it Jimmy? Or maybe even Jack? One thing's for sure, he was a man with many names and even more secrets. Played by Justin Chatwin, this mysterious character swept into Fiona Gallagher's life in the early seasons of Shameless, like a whirlwind. Handsome, confident, and utterly charming, Steve quickly became Fiona's lover and emotional escape. But behind that suave smile was a man hiding layers of lies. His affection for Fiona felt real, but his life of crime, deception, and frequent vanishing acts made their relationship feel more like a roller coaster than a romance. By the end of Season 3, Steve vanished, just like that. No long goodbyes, no clean closure. It looked like the writers had closed his chapter for good. Fans were left stunned, wondering if Fiona's chaotic love life had finally taken a sharp turn away from this charming con artist. Just when everyone thought Steve was gone for good, he made a surprise comeback. Not in a big dramatic return as a series regular, but in short, tantalizing appearances that stirred up old feelings and reignited fan theories. Each cameo left viewers asking, was Steve truly gone? Could this messy love story ever really be over? In a 2015 interview, Justin Chatwin recalled a conversation with the show's creator, John Wells. It seemed to explain it all. Wells compared Shameless to a plant growing in a garden, always evolving, always surprising. You never know what direction it'll take or what it'll become, he said. It was a perfect metaphor for the show's unpredictable nature and fluid character arcs. That idea, the show growing like a living thing, made a lot of sense when it came to characters like Steve. He might vanish for a season or two, but the world of Shameless never truly closed the door on him. Just like a persistent weed in a wild garden, Justin Chatwin kept popping back up, tangled in Fiona's life and the show's ever-changing storylines. Let's dive into the details of the exit of another star, the heart of the family, Emmy Rossum. Fiona Gallagher was never just another character on Shameless. As the oldest of the unruly Gallagher clan, she became much more than a big sister. She was their anchor in a chaotic world, with Frank, their reckless and often absent father, spiraling out of control time and again. Fiona stepped up in every way imaginable. She became the family's protector, provider, and moral compass, juggling roles that no young woman should have to bear alone. She was their mother figure, their defender, and sometimes their only source of hope. Through all the heartbreak, failures, and fleeting dreams, Fiona stood tall, even when the weight of it all nearly crushed her. Actress Emmy Rossum breathed powerful life into Fiona. Her portrayal was raw, vulnerable, and fiercely real. So much so that Fiona didn't feel like a character, but like someone you knew, someone you rooted for. Rossum's performance gave Shameless its emotional heartbeat. She embodied strength and struggle with every look and line, giving viewers a window into the pain and resilience of a young woman growing up too fast in a world that never played fair. Despite being a central figure in Shameless, Emmy Rossum was paid less than co-star William H. Macy. She boldly demanded equal pay to stand for fairness in Hollywood, ultimately succeeding, yet still chose to leave the show afterward, marking a powerful and principled exit. In 2018, she penned a moving farewell on Facebook, describing Fiona as a mother lion, fierce and complex, deeply flawed, yet beautifully human. She praised Fiona's strength, her sensuality, her vulnerability, and most of all, her refusal to ever give up. "I will never be saying goodbye to Fiona," she wrote, a testament to how deeply she connected with the role. Rossum's departure wasn't just a cast change. It was a turning point. Her exit left a void in the series, one that couldn't truly be filled. The Gallaghers continued to stumble forward, but Fiona's absence echoed in every scene. She was gone, but the soul she gave the show lingered, a constant reminder of the impact one woman and one performance can have. Another star that quit Shameless was the face behind Sammy Slott. Where did she go after her exit? Let's find out. Emily Bergel. Emily Bergel joined Shameless as Sammy Slott, the long-lost eldest daughter of Frank Gallagher. Her arrival stirred up drama, especially during the 4th and 5th seasons, where her storyline became central to Frank's desperate need for a liver transplant. Sammy wasn't just a side character. She shook things up, brought secrets to light, and forced the Gallaghers to confront truths they'd rather ignore. But despite her impact, Sammy's time on Shameless was short-lived. By the end of Season 4, her arc took a wild turn when she attempted to shoot Mickey Milkovich. That act landed her in jail, and it was the last we saw of her. There was no dramatic farewell, no lingering goodbye. She simply vanished into the prison system, and the show moved on. Sammy's departure left many fans with questions, but no official reason was ever given for why she or actress Emily Bergel was written out. Interestingly, Sammy was never a fan favorite. Even within the world of the show, the Gallaghers quickly turned against her. Her intense, sometimes unpredictable behavior made her a hard character to love, even if she was compelling to watch. But if the show left her behind, Emily Burgell certainly didn't let that slow her down. Since leaving Shameless, Emily Burgell has stayed active, landing roles in major shows like Law & Order, SVU, Scandal, Mindhunter, and streaming hits like You and the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, proving her range and staying power in both network TV and streaming platforms. Though Sammy Slott's storyline may have ended behind bars, Emily Burgell's career has remained front and center. While Shameless moved on without her, Burgell continued to thrive, proving that even if a character fades out of the spotlight, the actor behind them can still shine just as bright. Let's talk about the quirky queen. Where did she go? Why did she leave? Let's dive into the details. Joan Cusack. Few characters from Shameless left a lasting mark quite like Sheila Jackson. Brought to life by the incredibly talented Joan Cusack, Sheila wasn't just another quirky neighbor. She was a whirlwind of contradictions that somehow made perfect sense. Terrified of the outside world, Sheila spent most of her time inside her home, battling severe agoraphobia. But her timid nature clashed delightfully with her bold side, especially her surprising obsession with an over-the-top collection of sex toys and her curious appetite for all things unconventional. What truly made Sheila unforgettable, though, was the tender oddness she brought to every interaction. Her relationship with the ever-chaotic Frank Gallagher was a wild roller coaster of clumsy romance, laugh-out-loud moments, and unexpected heartbreak. Whether she was gently offering emotional support or trying to navigate her bizarre love life, Sheila had a way of making viewers both laugh and cry, often at the same time. Joan Cusack's performance as Sheila was nothing short of brilliant. She poured a strange but beautiful mix of warmth, vulnerability, and eccentricity into the character, making Sheila both bizarre and funny. And she was a very well-known and deeply relatable. It's no wonder critics and fans alike took notice. Cusack earned Emmy nominations for every season she was part of the cast. And in 2015, she finally took home the award, just as Sheila bid farewell to the show. Even after her exit, Sheila's essence continued to linger over Chicago's South Side. Her impact was so strong that long after she left, she would take her scenes and bring up her name whenever they talk about the show's most memorable moments. Sheila wasn't just a character. She was a symbol of how Shameless blended humor with heartache, strangeness with sincerity. Another star who left the series is the quirky hustler with heart. Let's dig into the details of her role and her exit from the series. Isadora Goreshter. When she stepped onto the screen in Shameless, she seemed like just another quirky addition to the Gallagher world. A clever, confident Russian sex worker with a razor-sharp tongue and a no-nonsense attitude. But it didn't take long for viewers to realize she was so much more. Her presence quickly grew, and before anyone knew it, Svetlana had become one of the show's most unforgettable forces. Svetlana was a bold, brilliant whirlwind, being Mickey, running a bar, and navigating a chaotic, polyamorous relationship. Cunning and hilarious, she handled crises with flair and delivered sharp, unforgettable moments. Her fearless, complex character brought both humor and depth to Shameless, leaving a lasting mark on the show. All of this magic was brought to life by Isadora Goreshter, whose performance gave Svetlana her fierce edge and unexpected charm. What was originally meant to be a one-day role stretched into 6 incredible years, transforming not just the character, but also Goreshter's own journey as an actress. In 2018, after 5 seasons on the show, she bid farewell with a heartfelt Instagram post writing, "All good things must come to an end." She expressed deep gratitude to the Shameless cast and crew for giving her a chance to grow with a role that took on a life of its own. Fans naturally wondered if we'd ever see Svetlana again. When asked, Goreshter joked that she had once requested a dramatic, fiery exit, a proper on-screen death. But the show's creators turned her down, wanting to leave a window open for her return. Because in the unpredictable, anything can happen world of Shameless, no one's ever really gone for good. Svetlana may have exited the stage, but her legacy lives on. In the wild plots she shaped, the laughs she gave, and the strength she radiated. Whether she pops back up someday or not, one thing's for sure. Svetlana wasn't just a side character. She was a storm, bold, unforgettable, and entirely her own. Let's talk about another star's beau from Shameless. Who is it? Why did he quit? Let's find out. Emma Greenwell. When Emma Greenwell stepped into the shoes of Mandy Milkovich on Shameless, she took over from Jane Levy, who originally played the role in Season 1. Mandy, known as the tough and complicated sister of Mickey Milkovich, became a central side character, especially from Seasons 2 through 6, during which she developed a close and sometimes turbulent friendship with Ian Gallagher. By Season 6, however, Emma Greenwell's role had been reduced to a guest appearance. In that brief but memorable episode, viewers learned that Mandy had left Chicago for Indiana, where she had become an escort. The storyline took a dark turn when one of her clients died, prompting her to vanish once again, this time without any clues as to where she was headed. Her sudden reappearance in Season 6 caught fans off guard. It was unexpected, emotional, and fleeting. Unlike some characters who get big dramatic send-offs, Mandy's final moment was somber and left viewers with more questions than answers. While it served as a form of closure, it was far from satisfying. Her exit echoed the similarly abrupt return and disappearance of Jimmy, another longtime character whose fate felt unresolved. In a post-episode interview with Cosmopolitan, Greenwell confessed that she didn't know whether Mandy would ever return to the show. Given that we haven't seen her since, it seems safe to say the writers quietly closed the chapter on her story. After leaving Shameless, Greenwell continued her acting journey with a key role in Hulu's critically acclaimed drama, The Path. She later appeared in the sci-fi thriller The Rook on Stars, marking her most recent television role. While Mandy Milkovich's final moments may not have given fans the ending they hoped for, Greenwell's time on Shameless still left a mark, gritty, raw, and unforgettable. Another star whose exit seemed surprising is the face behind Mike Pratt. Let's delve into the details of the nice guy who couldn't last. Jake McDormand, Mike Pratt was a rare, stable presence in Fiona's chaotic world, a kind, normal boyfriend without the usual drama. Though their relationship seemed healthy and promising, Shameless reminded us that peace is fleeting in the unpredictable Gallagher universe. Actor Jake McDormand first appeared as Mike in Season 3 of Shameless. As the show went on, his character became more prominent in Season 4, serving as a beacon of hope in Fiona's messy love life. Mike gave Fiona something she rarely experienced, a chance to feel grounded. Unfortunately, as with most things tied to the Gallaghers, that chance didn't last. One misstep led to another, and the relationship unraveled. It was almost as if the moment something good came into Fiona's life, her world conspired to tear it apart. In an interview, McDormand opened up about what it was like to be part of a show as wild and unpredictable as Shameless. From episode 1 to 12 in each season, so much radically changes, he shared. Characters come and go. A lot of people make mistakes, and there are a lot of triumphs. His words captured the very essence of the show. Fast-paced, emotional, and full of twists no one could see coming. After his time on Shameless, McDormand didn't slow down. He went on to land major roles in other TV series, showcasing his versatility as an actor. He starred in Limitless, based on the hit movie, played a romantic lead in Manhattan Love Story, and stepped into the shoes of a real-life American hero as astronaut Alan Shepard in The Right Stuff. While Mike Pratt may not have lasted in Fiona's life, Jake McDormand's career certainly didn't stall. From heartbreak to space travel, he's proven that he can thrive in stories both down to earth and out of this world. The face behind Jodie Silverman is another character that quit Shameless. Let's delve into the details behind Zach's exit from the series. Zach McGowan. Zach McGowan is best remembered by Shameless fans as the intense and eccentric Jodie Silverman, the husband of the troubled Karen Jackson. He made his first appearance in Season 2 of the hit Showtime series, and quickly became a fan favorite, known for his wild personality and unusual outlook on life. His character became even more central in Season 3, taking on a larger role as the show delved deeper into Karen's chaotic world. But just as quickly as Jodie captured viewers' attention, his storyline came to a close. When Karen suddenly left for Arizona in the series, it only made sense for her devoted, if slightly offbeat husband to go with her. And with that, Zach McGowan's time on Shameless ended, his character exiting the show quietly but meaningfully. However, McGowan didn't disappear from the spotlight. In fact, his acting career soared after Shameless. He landed a series of powerful roles across both film and television. He appeared in the action-packed Dracula Untold, as well as fan-favorite series like The 100, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., The Walking Dead, and LA's Finest. Each role showcased his versatility, charisma, and signature rugged edge. Yet, among all these projects, there's one role that truly set him apart: Charles Vane in the Starz series Black Sails. As the fierce and rebellious pirate captain, McGowan delivered a performance that was both magnetic and unforgettable. The show, a prequel to Treasure Island, gained a loyal following, and his portrayal of Vane earned him widespread recognition. For many fans, it's the role that defines him, a character as bold and complex as the actor himself. Whether sailing the high seas or navigating the chaos of Chicago's South Side, Zach McGowan has proven he can bring depth and intensity to every role. And though his time on Shameless may have been brief, it was certainly memorable. Just one chapter in a growing career filled with gripping performances and unforgettable characters. What about the face behind Karen Jackson, the wild card? Why did she leave? Let's dig into the details behind her exit from Shameless. Laura Wiggins. Karen Jackson, brought to life by actress Laura Wiggins, was one of the most unforgettable characters to appear early on in the TV series Shameless. As Lip Gallagher's on-and-off girlfriend, Karen wasn't just any ordinary teenager. She was bold, emotionally complicated, and constantly battling her inner demons. Her struggle with sex addiction and a desperate need for love and acceptance made her unpredictable, and at times deeply heartbreaking to watch. Karen's storyline was filled with twists and turns. She gave birth to a baby whose father was a mystery, sending shockwaves through her family and the neighborhood. Just when it seemed her life couldn't get more chaotic, she was involved in a terrible accident that left her with brain damage, completely altering the course of her story. Her journey on the show was like a roller coaster, intense, messy, emotional, and never easy to look away from. Laura Wiggins played Karen for the first 2 seasons and later returned for a few guest appearances. Eventually, she said goodbye to the role, but not without carrying some lasting memories. In an interview with Parade, Wiggins opened up about how being on Shameless was a huge turning point in her career. The role launched her into the spotlight faster than she expected. Even though the cast and crew were warm and welcoming, the sudden wave of public attention left her feeling overwhelmed. "It freaked me out a little bit," she admitted. Karen's story didn't end with a fairy tale. It was painful and left viewers with more questions than answers. Yet Wiggins's performance was so raw and powerful that it cemented Karen as one of the show's most talked-about characters. Her emotional highs and lows, the pain she hid behind her rebellious front, and her tragic ending made Karen unforgettable. Even years later, fans still remember her as a wild, wounded girl who burned brightly and then disappeared. Although Shameless remains a comedy drama, it leaves its audience with loads of lessons to learn. Let's dig into the details of a few things about real life that can be learned from Shameless. A living, breathing story. If there's one unforgettable lesson Shameless has given us, it's this. People change, move on, and sometimes they find their way back home. The show is more than a drama. It's a reflection of real life, filled with ups and downs, unexpected twists, and moments that leave you breathless. Life isn't always neat or tidy, and neither are the stories from the South Side. Each time a character disappears from the screen, it's never without a reason. Sometimes it's an actor craving new adventures or wanting to try something different. Other times it's because the story they were part of has naturally reached its final chapter. And yes, sometimes it all comes down to striking the right deal, where passion meets the paycheck. Take Cameron Monaghan, who left and later returned, or Emmy Rossum, whose emotional farewell still echoes. And who could forget Joan Cusack, whose performance earned her an Emmy before she bowed out? Each exit left a noticeable ripple, changing the rhythm of the show. John Wells, the longtime showrunner, once described Shameless as a living plant, wild, unpredictable, sometimes prickly, but always full of life. That's exactly how the show has continued to thrive, no matter who stayed or left. It keeps stretching out in new directions, sometimes blooming in beauty, other times tangled in thorns, but always real. So when a familiar face disappears from those gritty Chicago streets, don't be too quick to grieve. In the world of Shameless, nothing is ever truly over. There's always a chance they'll find their way back into the chaos. And even if they don't, their impact is lasting. They remain alive in the laughter, the drama, the heartbreak, and the unforgettable moments they helped create with the Gallaghers. Because on Shameless, like in life, the people who leave don't always stay gone. And even when they do, they never really vanish. What do you think about the stars that left Shameless, and why they left? We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe.